Gather round, children, as I wish to tell you the queer story of Brownlow's newspaper. A short story by H.G. Wells that took place on the 10th of November.
Wow.
1931.
That's a day.
And opens with the protagonist, Brownlow, accidentally being delivered a newspaper dated the 10th of November, 1971.
So
It was in the future then, so it was more impressive.
Right, so this is early edition, right? That's what this is. The popular TV show early edition.
Oh, look, I've just received today's newspaper on the mat.
Yeah.
What does it say? 10th of November, 2071. Phil Catterall is dead from robot sex.
I mean, I've had a good run at that point. I'll take it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Don't Let's Chat.
As long as it's not a rumba.
Beep boop. Come here, big boy.
No.
Yeah, you two, pack it in. There's no time for me to say hello. I'm Ben Baker, and welcome to Don't Let's Chat with my co-host, as always, in Robot Corner.
Robot is in Robot Corner. I'm Phil Catterall, and I'm over here in Phil Catterall Corner.
So this is a programme, if you've never heard it before, where me and Phil look through the history of a day, in particular today is the 10th of November, and see what interesting things you can find in history. We start in 1793, and it's the fun light show to kick off. France ends forced worship of God.
Good. I'm in favour of it. As someone who was made to go to Sunday school, I approve.
As someone who wasn't, my parents are staunch atheists. Yeah, so many people have heard of the Reign of Terror, which began with Louis the XVI's death. That's what we called him.
Yeah, that was the year his copyright was registered. That's...
And the Festival of Reason, which basically meant the de-Christianisation of France. And it's fascinating to imagine this went round, and they were so het up about this that Departement cancelled in the Loire, abolished the word dimanche, which is Sunday.
Yeah.
Then got rid of the Gregorian calendar.
Right.
Because, all the saints' days and the Sabbath and any references to the church. I replaced it with a 10-day week.
Well, that's going to cause all sorts of technical difficulties, isn't it?
Amazingly, who knew that it became clear very quickly that, 9 days of work in a row were a bit too much for people. And that, nothing could actually happen with any other countries.
No.
Because they all still use the Gregorian system.
What day are we having the meeting? Thursday. We don't have Thursdays.
We have Crom Grandpa's Day. Can you come back and craffle my sleeve? So yeah, they brought the Gregorian calendar back a year and a half later.
Did they go to decimal time as well for a bit?
I don't know that, but I do love the idea that, if you wanted a bit of religion, you had to do it sneakily. It's like a Beano character snaffling a pie. Like, are you sneaking some Jesus after lights out? No, Mum, I'm reading. Razzle.
The French did go to decimal time at one point. That is a thing I have just learned.
Oh, France.
Midnight was at 10 o'clock. Noon was at 5 o'clock.
Sexy hour.
So, but you only had... Oh, God, what a mess.
We move on to 1871. And Henry Morton Stanley encountered David Livingstone near Lake Tanganyika in Central Africa with the immortal words... Hey, you, get off my lawn!
Yeah.
All right, he said...
His lawn was in Africa, was it, Ben?
Yeah. He said Dr Livingstone, I presume. But it does make you think, like, if he'd said something else, like, how do, fancy a wank? Oh, wasps! I don't think it'd have been as memorable a moment that people quote.
I mean, realistically, he wouldn't have written that down, because his first words were likely, oh, fuck! Finally!
It does make me wonder, though, what our best opening line would be. Because obviously that's a very memorable one. But I can't imagine it'd work very well, for example, on a date.
Well, Ben.
Unless you are dating Dr Livingstone. I don't know, let me just check Tinder. I don't have Tinder.
He could
I will
be
die
on there.
alone.
He's very dead, but he could be on there.
Have you got Tinder?
I had Tinder. Tinder was not a great success for me. I had more luck with Hinge. But what I've got though, Ben, is from the Date Mix, which is a website that exists.
It's a bit like Chex Mix.
It's a bit like Chex Mix, yeah, a bit like Trail Mix.
With more romance.
They've pulled together a top 50 opening lines to use on Tinder. These are supposed to be for men, to use on women, and from a quick scan through them, Ben, I understand why many women do not like online dating sites.
Okay, well, I don't want 50, but I'm prepared to tuck it between my legs for a few minutes if you want to try some of them out on me.
Okay. Right. So I'm going to go with their first one, Titanic. That's my icebreaker. What's up? Which doesn't work on multiple levels. The Titanic didn't break the ice. The ice broke the Titanic. That did not work.
I might imagine some of it shaved off, but
well, yeah. But if you're going to use that joke, it's giant polar bear breaks the ice. That's the line. But you still don't use it.
No, I'm not into that. I hate Titanic as well, which doesn't help.
Okay, how about this? Are you my appendix? Because I don't know anything about you, but this feeling in my gut is telling me I should take you out.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because appendicitis is the mood you want to invoke.
And then the stumbling awkwardness
so
to get
convoluted.
to that point.
Would you like another one?
Yes.
Do you read Dr Seuss? Because green eggs and damn, girl. Oh, that's so bad. That's terrible.
Hey, girl, do you read David Walliams? Because I have a low opinion about working class people too.
Oh, God, this is terrible. Are you a 0% APR loan? Because I'm having trouble understanding your terms and you aren't showing any interest. Really not a good...
I quite like that as the awkwardness of it, not as an actual line, but because I don't understand. I'm really confused. Could you please help?
Okay, here's another one. I don't normally contact people on this, but I find you very intriguing.
P.S. Feet! Show feet! I don't get the feet thing at all. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. One final, truly depressing one.
Okay, right. Hi, I'd like to add you to my professional network on LinkedIn.
To be used good. Only not on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That would have worked for me.
Yeah, anyway, it was for me because I don't have a LinkedIn profile, so it's even better. I'm not quite sure that's in our range. I was more thinking when we're talking opening lines, it's like, hello, I am the Blade Runner, or good day, I'm Star Wars. That sort of thing. The classics. I can't imagine any websites online have put together a sort of top 10 opening lines from films list, have they?
Well, I mean, how many would you like, Ben? Would you like 10 or would you like 100? Because...
10. Just 10.
10, okay.
10, yeah. It's 10.
Okay, fine. So I've got Goliath.com's 10 best opening lines in film history. The 10 best in all of film history, Ben. All of it.
Number one is The Shawshank Redemption. I'd like to add to my professional network on LinkedIn.
Number one is The Green Mile with, this mile is so very long and also green.
Right, number 10.
Number 10, right. According to Goliath.com, this is not me. This is Goliath.com. From The Prestige, are you watching closely? That is, Ben, that is the 10th best line.
The answer to that is yes, once, never again. Thanks.
It was all a trick, Ben. It was all a trick. And
I've invented an electricities!
Was Anthony Newley. Number 9. We were somewhere around Barstow on the edge of the desert when the drug began to take hold.
It's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, isn't it?
It's Fear and Loathing, yeah. Which, to be fair, as opening lines go, is really good. But that's because it's from the book, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the main reason I knew that. And number 8.
Number 8. What came first, the music or the misery? The 8th best, Ben. The 8th best opening line of all time is from the year 2000 adaptation of High Fidelity.
Is that not the book as well?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But I don't... It's an okay film. It's a perfectly good adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
although it makes Rob too likeable, in my opinion.
No, that is true. I remember being a huge fan of it at the time, but I had literally, when it came out, I'd just gone through a massive breakup when it came out, and it was like, yeah, man. And then the more you get on and you hear people quoting it as if these are the words of people you're meant to look up to.
Yeah, like, and they're not. They're all terrible.
They're all meant to be terrible, but they're played so, charmingly that you kind of forget that.
Yeah.
Number 7.
Number 7, right. My name is Lester Burnham. This is my neighbourhood. This is my street. This is my life. I am 42 years old. In less than a year, I will be dead.
And in 20 years, I will have no career.
And in a way, I'm dead already.
Due to all that diddling I've been doing.
Due to all the sexual assault, yes.
Let's call it by its name. Again, another of them films I really enjoyed at the time, and now, even if it wasn't for the spacey stuff, American Beauty is hard work. It's very much a film.
I remember going and seeing it with my university housemates at the time, and we came out of it, and one of my friends looked at the rest of us and went, "Oh, I'm the only one that thought that was shit, aren't I?" And turns out, no, he was right. He was right. We all enjoyed it at the time, but looking back on it, I can't watch. Absolutely. It's not quite fridge logic. Yeah. It's decade logic.
Number 6.
Who are you? I am death. This is from The Seventh Seal.
Oh, of course, yes, it is. Yes, I've only read it.
But as an opening line, that absolutely, that's pretty good. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, and spoilers, it is. So
it is.
The
mistake that the knight makes in The Seventh Seal is not Melvining death. Had he done that,
exactly. If only they'd asked him about his 17-minute bass solos. Number 5, Rosebud. Yep.
Citizen Kane has this sort of huge air of majesty and importance around it, and then you watch it, it's like, oh no, this is like a modern blockbuster. It's not it's not an arty film. It moves along at a decent clip and uses all sorts of techniques that are now standard. It's not, I think, what it's been played up to be.
It's deserving of its reputation, yeah. And hopefully they'll wheel it out again at Christmas and we'll all get to watch it again. I wonder if I get to see number 4 at Christmas.
Now, I want you to remember, no bastard ever won a war by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb bastard die for his country. That is from
Forrest Gump.
Patton.
Oh, Patton, that was it, yeah.
Which is it's a perfectly good film. Apparently, Patton's actual words were toned down to avoid getting an R rating.
Okay. Number
3. Choose life, choose a job, choose a career, choose a family, choose...
All right, PF Project.
That is my name.
Yeah, again, another one from the book. I think Trainspotting still more or less holds up.
It all still works. It all still goes together.
I've really enjoyed Trainspotting too.
I've not seen it.
It's not the sequel that the book is, which is porno, but generally it's pretty good.
Okay.
I mean, there's one bit where they sit there and watch the Rubber Bandits' Dad's Best Friend video for a minute. It's just like, I mean, I love this song, but
why?
Number 2,
as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Oh, yeah, Toy Story. Big fan. Again, another one, Goodfellas.
It never clicked for me, for whatever reason.
Okay. It's a celebration of arseholes, again.
Yeah.
Which you meant to go, these guys are boss. And Scorsese is going, no, they're dicks.
They're dicks, but what I have done is I have cast Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci at the height of their powers, which means you like them. You don't like Ray Liotta, because Ray Liotta is terrifying at all times.
Yeah, and also Not an Otter, which is for my money for Garrett Powell.
Good.
And number 1, the best opening film line according to Godzilla's Trousers.net or whatever it is.
I was 12 going on 13 the first time I saw a dead human being.
It's Stand By Me, isn't it?
It is indeed Stand By Me, which for me has the best closing line.
Thanks very much for watching my film.
That's not what it is.
I'm Richard Dreyfuss. Good night. Is that it? Is that how it ended?
Do you think that's how every film ends?
One of my friends went on to be Wesley Crusher. Another one was in Sliders. Another one was River Phoenix. I don't know what happened to him.
One of them was a Corey. I forget which one. But anyway, is that how you think all films end? With the last remaining actor on screen saying, I'm name of actor, good night.
I'm Mark Hamill. Thanks for coming to my Empire Strikes Back. Goodbye.
First 6 Star Trek films. I'm William Shatner and no one else is allowed on screen. Good night.
I mean, please, on Twitter, @Let's Start, tweet us your best, in that style, final line of a film, and we'll retweet the best ones, and we'll maybe read some out. Sorry,
I'm Rodimus Prime. Good night.
Ruined. Oh, dear. I'm the Garbage Pail Kids. Why are you still here?
Adventure, laughs, and disturbing Disney surprises.
A Civil War theme park?
Yes.
Jim Henson!
He wouldn't sell!
1940. Walt Disney begins serving as an informer for the LA office of the FBI. His job is to report back information on Hollywood subversives.
Walt Disney, a man who has brought joy to millions whilst also being a horrible, horrible bastard so much of the time.
Papers released in 1993 revealed that from 1940 until his death in 1966, Walt Disney served as a secret informant for the Los Angeles office of the FBI, according to documents that came to light under the Freedom of Information Act.
Right.
In return for information, J. Edgar Hoover let him film inside the FBI headquarters in Washington, which I don't know if that's a trade-off, for sacking in people's careers and lives because they might be a communist.
Yeah, that's... I mean, problems. Disney is made of problems, isn't it? Problems piled on top of problems.
It is. But who out of interest, is your favourite Disney robot?
Vincent from the Black Hole.
Beep boop. I could take Vincent any day.
Well, that's...
It's robot. It's our friendly assistant robot, currently called Piss2. We don't know.
It's not called
We want
that.
your suggestions at Don't Let's Chat on Twitter for what it should be called, and also
Yeah.
drawings. Draw what you think robot looks like and send it in.
Anyway, robot. What are you not doing your catchphrase this week?
Beep boop. All full of pie. No investigations will follow.
Okay, so robot guts are full of pie this week. That's fair enough. I suppose that means that there's nothing from listeners in robot's guts this week, Ben.
Slurp slew. Now for a listener question.
Oh, okay. So he's eating the pie, or so. I don't know. I don't understand what's
I
happening
don't know.
anymore.
Let's just play the listener questions to see what it is.
Hello, Ben and Phil. This is Pete, one of your pastry pals and followers. You maybe know me under the Twitter name Pete's Tweets. My first question for you is, what is your favourite board game? Or maybe was there a board game you always wanted but never received when you were a kid? Thanks for your time. Bye.
Oh, what is the best board game?
Well, no. What is your best board game?
Well, obviously, your best board game is Mysteries of O.P. King, the
No, it's
racist
not. Just
Cluedo clone.
That
which
you have left at my flat. Yes.
Yes. In case anyone has not heard me on Looks Unfamiliar discussing this, please do go find that episode. It's a Cluedo-esque game, which is really fun to play, but all the characters happen to be called things like Mr. Pong Hai, the fishmonger, and Mr. Wang Cough.
That's been here for about a year now.
Well,
because...
unfortunately, I haven't been allowed to come to your house for a year. I mean, only 6 months of that was COVID. The rest of it was just private reasons.
I was going to say, you have been here since then. You just didn't take the board game with you when you went.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's
anyway, no, it's not that. That's nobody's favourite board game, Ben. It's fine, but it's nobody's favourite.
So I very much enjoy like your Pointless and your Linky and all that. Not really board games, but last year I finally was introduced to Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if that counts as a board game, but
I don't think so. Because it's a lot of theatre of the mind, isn't it? There's not that much on the board,
and there's not much in my mind. So,
well, there we go.
What about you?
What about me? I don't know. There's different eras of board games as far as I'm concerned. So as a kid, I enjoyed Ghost Castle because you drop that skull down the stairs and it knocked things over. You remember Ghost Castle?
I do.
Yeah. It was. I enjoyed the ones that had gimmicky things going on. Is a good game. Don't Wake Dad, of course, is perennial
It's both
favourite.
a game and just advice for life.
It's just general advice. In modern era of board games, I'm a fan of Seven Wonders, which is a drafting game where you build a city, kind of, sort of. And there's also one that I've played at my local board game cafe a number of times, which is called, I think it's Eruption. You can have up to 6 players, and you're on an island, and a volcano is erupting, and you've got to make sure that your village burns last by diverting lava into the other villages. It's a game that becomes really nasty really quickly. It's great.
I really wanted Atmosphere, the VHS video board game thing, when they were new. And I eventually got it from a charity shop in about 2005. And we watched it, pissed ourselves laughing, put it back in the box, sent it back to the charity shop 2 days later because we were banished to the black hole.
Yeah.
Which one did you always want?
I'm trying to think what. I quite wanted Space Hulk, but again, that's when I was a bit older. I'm trying to think when I was a kid. It was Ghost Castle until we got Ghost Castle, definitely. But it was always the Screwball Scramble. You know, anything that was mechanically complicated.
Beep boop, I am mechanically complicated too.
Yeah, okay, good.
What do you want? A medal.
It's getting sassy again.
I don't like this.
Your oil.
I don't like this.
No, we're moving on. Thanks for your question, Pete. We really appreciate it. And if you want to send one in, speakpipe.com/don'tlet'schat or email us don'tlet'schat@gmail.com, and your question could be on a future show.
Yes.
Well, none of your robot nonsense now, as it's time for Sexy Time.
Oh, no.
1960 saw the uncensored version of D.H. Lawrence's Lady Chatterley's Lover finally going on sale in the UK after a jury found Penguin Books not guilty in an obscenity trial. I don't think we can assess the sheer magnitude of this at the time, especially because, you know, books and reading in the modern age. But apparently, like, Foyle sold 300 copies in 15 minutes.
Wow.
And apparently, like, Selfridges said they'd have sold 10,000 copies if they had them because it just everyone wanted it.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely outraging everybody. And they were calling for the head of D.H. Lawrence, which was unfortunate because he died 30 years earlier from TB. But, you know,
it's quite difficult. I mean, you could still get his head.
Oh, yeah,
that is what they did with. Who did they do that with?
Bruce Forsyth, I think.
No, Oliver Cromwell.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah, no, I'm always getting them two mixed up.
They dug him up so they could execute him, which, you know, seems churlish.
Unnecessary. Well, apparently in Edinburgh, copies were burned in the streets. In Wales, women librarians refused to handle it. And one mother wrote to the Home Secretary saying that her teenage daughter was at boarding school and was terrified that the day girls there might introduce this filthy book, which, you know, it is a good bit of filth in there. I mean, I don't think anyone can read it now and not envisage Sean Bean on the job, as it was in the famous BBC adaptation.
It was indeed, yes.
Oh, you look right lovely, Lady Chatterley. You bastard. You know, like he does in everything.
He doesn't say the word bastard in everything. That's not...
It does make you think, like, now, I'm not sure a book would have that much impact these days, you know, unless it's Pinch of Nom, in which case, obviously.
Oh, but to the best of my knowledge, Pinch of Nom has not been removed from the shelf for using the C word too much.
I mean, I've not scanned every page of it that clearly. But,
the C word in this case, of course, being coriander.
Well, hey, that words. That does make me think, actually, that I think now we're more obsessed with looking out for filth, especially when you're young, and words in particular that sound dirty but actually aren't is a particular fascination of mine.
All right, okay.
Yeah, so
that's a coincidence, because what I've got, Ben, here...
What?
From the Huffington Post, I have got words that are scientific terms, but that sound like filth.
Okay, hit me with them, science face.
Right. Formication.
For the nation.
No, formication. Formication. It's like fornication, but with a M instead of a N.
No, I got that bit, but is it something to do with Formica?
It is not. It is a medical term for the sensation that small insects are crawling all over your skin. Enjoy that one.
Oh, that's like anti-sexual, if anything. That's like the
really
complete
is.
opposite. Oh, no, I'm good. Next.
Fukalite. Spelt Fukalite.
It just sounds like you're trying to do my accent.
I know. Fukalite.
Oh, Fukalite! A tiresome Lee Francis character.
Indeed.
What's that then?
It's a mineral composed mostly of calcium, oxygen, and silicon. Fukalite.
Ooh. More.
Okay, right. What you need to know first is that there is a town in Massachusetts called Cummington, and it gives its name to a mineral called Cummingtonite.
Yeah, no, I'm an adult. I'm 40 next, so yes, I'm finding this very serious. Not funny. We do have a listener in Boston. Presumably, he
No.
could
Wherever you're
find
going with
some
this.
coming. He could do some coming tonight.
Tonight, yeah, well done.
Yeah, it's coming to. Oh God, worst Stone Roses EP ever. Next!
Schist.
I'm a big fan of moving S&T around for some reason. Or whatever is at the end, moving an S in.
This is SCHIST, schist,
Schist.
which is a type of metamorphic rock that can be split easily into sheets. So enjoy that.
Like peanut.
Indeed.
Is that next?
No, next is piloerection.
I think I went to school. No, never went to
No, they had a peel session in 1974.
That's
no,
the
no.
one, sorry.
So this is the scientific term for when your hair stands on end. Piloerection. So there you go.
That's a brilliant word to know, actually.
It is. It's good, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, I don't have any hair anymore, but, shaved all that off. But thanks. Thanks for telling me too late.
It's all
For
right.
nothing. I'm angry now. Do another word before I do a crime.
Okay. Turdus maximus.
Fuck no! That's someone's username on my spleen or something.
It is not a cancelled Generation 2 Transformer. It is...
All right, we both went his own direction with that one.
It is a species name for the Tibetan blackbird, a member of the thrush family, Turdidae, which is found in the Himalayas. So Turdus maximus is the Tibetan blackbird.
And please, if you try to be healthy, always remember, Turdidae.
Oh, dear.
Anymore.
Albedo.
I mean, that's a character from Goodfellas, isn't it?
No, it's a measure of the reflectivity of Earth's surface. So the amount of solar energy that is reflected from the Earth's surface back into space. Albedo. Albedo?
Albedo. Any more of them sound like Yorkshire people having conversation only they can understand?
Yes, arsehole. Spelt ARSOLE. This is an arsenic-based organic compound. Arsole. If it's any help, its molecules are ring-shaped.
Oh, God. Oh, when I was a kid and I'd looked at stuff like this in books and I thought, I'll be boring at 40. I won't find any of this stuff funny anymore. No. More so, if anything. Well, I don't think there's any topping that one. So please do remember, always check your arsehole for rings.
Always make sure that if you've left your arsehole out, there is no Turdus maximus nearby.
Yeah, and of course, Turdidae. Speaking of turds, 1968, Steve Brookstein's born. Some people remember him from winning the first ever X Factor. Most people remember him for being a knob on Twitter.
God, there was a point where he was one of the worst things on Twitter, and he's not even close now, is he?
No,
and that's not because he's got better.
No, it very much is in horrific company now. 1969, a bit of a panic cleanser. Sesame Street premiered on PBS. And is obviously still going and beloved today. Who's your favourite character from Sesame Street out of interest, Phil?
I have always been a big fan of Telly.
He looks a bit like you as well.
He does a bit, but obviously the best is Grover. Grover is the best.
He's the correct answer because he is super. I love Grover.
No, Super Grover is a completely different monster, Ben.
Oh, sorry, I do apologise. But yeah, if you're interested in Sesame Street, there's a brilliant book called Street Gang. I think it's by Michael Davis, and
Right.
but basically nobody wanted it on the air at all because everyone was so up their own bum about what it teaches and stuff, and the BBC wouldn't take it, for example, because there was all this stuff about Americanization of schoolrooms and stuff, and now it's just like anything which gets them to learn something is good, please. But yeah, absolutely fascinating. Also fascinating is the face of 1971's birthday boy, Walton Goggins.
It's a good face.
If you don't recognise the name, you know him. He's played someone who's a bit of a creep in something you've liked.
In Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I talked to Tim Worthington about on It's Good Except It Sucks just recently.
Yeah, it's to the week. It was good. 1983, Bill Gates introduces Windows 1.0. He went, it's there. Well, you're welcome.
What was the earliest version of Windows you used, Ben?
3, like normal people.
Was that? But was it 3.1 or was it 3? Because
I think it was 3.1. Yeah.
Yeah, I used 3.0, and it's massively worse. That 0.1 was very important.
Good. You know what? There's no time to talk about any of these other stuff. There's too much going on. I'll just say that in 1984, Frankie Goes to Hollywood went to #1 after setting a record for advanced orders of over 1 million copies of Welcome to the Pleasure Dome.
Nice.
Don't know if there was that many for the second album. And no time to talk about in 1999, where Stock Aitken and Waterman went to court fighting over song rights. Stock and Aitken had claimed Waterman owed them because basically he was like the publisher for them.
Right.
They owed them thousands and thousands of pounds as musicians and songwriters. They said, "Look, you got your money, and I've not spent it all on trains." That's how he talks. He don't talk like
He'd
that.
spent it all on trains and Michaela Strachans. That's what he'd spent it on.
Stock and Aitken claimed Waterman owed them substantial royalties, estimated at $12 million. They lost the court case, and much mud was slung by Mike Stock, who's branded Waterman a buffoon and thinks talent is blonde hair and big tits, and had spent a ton of time in Japan importing koi carp, as if that's the biggest insult koi carp collecting get.
That's like something that you come up with when you're just apoplectic with rage. It's like you fish collector,
koi carp wanker. And yeah, 5 years later, they'd reunited to promote a new compilation. So, money talks, and, so does Pete Waterman. Like this. I'm Pete Waterman. He's from Birmingham. But it's not time to talk about that because it's the end of the show. Oh. Thanks.
I'm sad about it.
I'm letting them all in return. It's not just about you.
Well,
it's a listener interaction, and if people do want to get in contact with us, as we say, at Don't Let's Chat on Twitter or Don't Let's Chat at gmail.com. The at is very important. Both of those. And speakpipe.com/Don't Let's Chat. I didn't giggle at all this week. I sent it very straight.
You get better at it.
Because we got a few entries in recently, which we're looking forward to playing out on future shows. And of course, please keep telling people about this on Twitter and everywhere else, because word of mouth is the biggest thing we have right now. We can't afford advertising, and even if we did, it's just like it's throwing piss into a fan. Not a phrase, but you get the general idea with that.
I mean, I feel like that would be quite effective, but for a relatively small area. You definitely hit everyone within a certain distance.
Yeah, but they won't thank you for it.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. That's true.
Thank you very much to all the people who do that stuff already. And of course, if you want these shows a little bit earlier, up to a week early, in fact, patreon.com/Don't patreon.com/Let's Chat, where for £3 you can get all these, and there's a back catalogue, full series of Let's Chat nights, and a full series of our Summer Roadshow, 8 episodes of those, which are some of the best stuff I think we've ever done. So please do, if you like this, give us a small monetary pat on the back. And I don't mean Todd. But above all, please remember, ladies and gentlemen, today. Until next time, I have been the head of D.H. Lawrence.
And I have been the skull from Ghost Castle just sort of rolling down some stairs.
Dr. Livingstone, I presume? No. Get out of my house. I mean, goodbye.
Bye. The Garbage Pail Kids movie is like 15 minutes of actual footage, then about 60 minutes of blank, and then just at the very end, it's one of the puppets going, no, we didn't. We knew no one had watched, so we just did the first 15 minutes and went home. We've spent all the money on gin. Garbage Pail gin. We got the gin from gin-faced Gregory. He's got gin coming out of his face. He's one of the Garbage Pail Kids.
None of this is going in, but I'm like,
I don't care. Do not care. Gin-faced Gregory. Nothing.